So Kamal, could you perhaps give us some further information around the actual impact this has had on the number of burn injuries? So since the interventions you've been doing, working at the community with local government, etc., have you actually seen a reduction in the number of burn injuries?
Yes. We have been communicating with the local government very regularly, even during this lockdown period, and also with the health post. So there is no serious burn injuries in all 3 districts we have been working. By the way, we are working in one of the mountainous districts, one in the hills and one in Tarai. So there was no burn case we found in the last winter.
So that's very impressive. How many injuries were there before the intervention? I mean, obviously I know these are relatively small areas, but clearly if it was such an intervention was scaled up across the country, it would have a big impact. So before the intervention, how many sort of injuries were occurring?
2 years ago, before we started the project, in Dhanusa district, there were 14 serious burn injuries, and in Makwanpur district 6, and in Raswa district 5. But last year there was no serious burn case.
The centre here and Interburns, in partnership with this programme, are working in other countries, in Palestine and Ethiopia, etc. And they're doing similar work. How do you think you might be able to share the success and perhaps enable these other countries to learn from the success that you've had in Nepal?
Maybe the first thing is that, if people are ready, then they can solve any problem they have. So this is the main philosophy, actually we believe in and we have been applying. So from the very beginning, we prepared community,
Again, congratulations for the whole team for this work. And we know that prevention is key in burn injuries. Most injuries are actually preventable. And we also know that in many countries, prevention is not undertaken, or if it is, it's not particularly successful. And I think really what you've demonstrated through this pilot study, if you like, is that it is possible, and that the approach has to be one that engages and involves the local community in solving the problem themselves. Have you found during your discussions with the local community, how did they respond to hearing about burn injuries? Did they see this as a big problem, or was it something that they weren't really aware of before? How did you manage to engage them?
In the beginning, we had difficulty to communicate with them properly. So we applied different methods. The first thing was we took, the friends from hospitals, doctors and nurses to the community, and we organized interactions with local people. The doctors, the health personnel working with burn patients in hospitals, they explain a lot. And also we organized some home visit. We met people with burns and organized interaction with them. And also we brought some people from the community to these hospitals, and let them see the situation there. So this is how we could engage people in interactions, and also rather than planning everything from outside by ourselves, we facilitated the process properly so that people themselves could think and come up with better plan for burn prevention.
What I understand you've been doing is you've produced some materials such as a manual to help support learning for the local health workers and the local community about first aid and about prevention, and also a calendar. Could you tell us a little bit about these two, and perhaps show us if you have them available?
We have developed one burn prevention and first aid guideline. To prepare this guideline, we had a series of interactions with health workers at the community level, and based on the outcomes, we have developed this, and people have, started using this, and it's very, we are very happy that they have found it very effective.
Great. Mal, could you just give us an overview of perhaps the key points in the strategy to develop burn prevention at the community level, and how what are the principles of engaging the community and getting them involved in a participatory way to support local burn prevention?
I think few things are very important. The first is working together with local stakeholders, including local people, and have dialogue with them to understand the real situation, and develop some materials in simple local language so that people can understand the things very easily, burns related issues very easily. Then third thing, preparing local facilitators, maybe FCSVs and social workers and youth volunteers can be appropriate for this. So preparing them as local facilitators. Then other thing is working together with local government for developing appropriate policies for burn prevention at the community level, and sharing success stories among the local stakeholders, which will encourage them to do more in the future. Maybe these are the things can be done.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.